So, thank you guys all for coming. This is, I'm going to try to make this as quick as possible within the next 30 to 60 minutes. I'm going to try to answer all your questions and kind of get you guys walking through on the game mechanics of the mechanic job. So, first and foremost, before we kind of get into things, I'm here to answer your questions. So, if you guys have questions, go ahead and ask them, and um, I'll go ahead and get them answered. Anybody want to start?
I have one question. Um, Actually, I kind of asked it in chat earlier. Is the extra or the additional roles being worked on so we can actually have managers and stuff in place, or
That is
because
not
right
being
now we
worked
just have
on.
mechanic. Okay.
Yeah, that is not being worked on as it's not a priority right now. The 3 roles that are given to all the mechanic shops, they're all the same roles, by the way, so I don't want people thinking that one shop has more roles than the other. And I could prove it to you guys, for those of you who probably might not believe me or whatever it is, but, so Polito Mechanic has mechanic, lead mechanic, and general mechanic. Hayes, mechanic, lead mechanic, general mechanic. Harmony Mechanic, mechanic, lead mechanic, general mechanic. Oops. And then I think the other one's called mechanic, wherever that
Okay.
is. Right
That
here.
we
Boom.
have
So
the
right now,
lead.
the way the framework is set up, we this was built around 3 rules. Now we can add more, but it's not as simple as plopping them in here and moving forward. There are a lot of things that are dependent on these job grades. So, for instance, general manager is able to hire, fire, and access the bank, as well as like your business account in the bank, and also having access to the safe that you guys have at each of your locations. So, and again, and into the phone app to hire and fire people, and promoting people and so forth. So, it's not as easy as me just throwing this in here and be like, okay, well, here's all your roles, right? There are some steps to it. So, um, when can we get that in
Oh,
there? Get you guys some extra roles. I don't know, in the next couple weeks to a month. I can't
well,
promise you
then
guys
the
anything.
biggest thing I think the the biggest thing I think is just being able to have maybe at least maybe the lead mechanics being able to hire. Not, I mean, with talking to the general manager about it, but because if I'm not in city, till because I'm a night bird, so if I'm not in city and I'm trying to get some people in there kind of to cover all shifts, I can't just fly in all the time and hire. So it'd be nice to be able to maybe even have lead mechanics just be able to hire, if that's possible.
So
Personally,
on the way I'm just going to run it is my level as an owner at the shop is the same as my managers. General manager does all the have the same level. We get more roles if we there'll be like the higher up roles. That's my
Am I missing? Because I thought I only had mechanic and lead mechanic. Is there and then general
yeah,
manager? Is that
yeah there is. So I
okay?
am my managers. So Tia is my manager. She's the general manager with me. Same access as I. That's how I'm running.
Right, and
It's like a
if you
co-owner.
need somebody hired as a general manager, so to speak, at the same level as you, just reach out to me and I can get some staff in there that can do that for you.
Okay,
So
that's
pretty
what I
much what
wasn't
is
understanding.
so what Rascal is saying, I think that's how you say your name. So
Yeah.
what he's saying is that just because on paper, he's technically the manager of everything, right? Or the owner. But then he's got manager Tia as the manager on paper. But in the server, as far as access goes, they're still under the one role called the general manager role. So they have access to everything as if you did as well. So in the
Okay, I
server,
got
it's
it
it's
now.
just it's a just a different title than what you would see on paper in your SOPs and such.
Gotcha.
is
Okay.
there a way that we can set it up so that we can pick and choose what role has what capabilities? Like if we don't want our lead mechanics to have access to the safe and like that.
That all has to be coded.
Right, and right now, the only people that can access your safe is gonna be the general managers. So essentially, owners, whoever you make a general manager rank with you, make sure you trust them, right?
I do have to
Okay, because
double check though, because I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken, when this was ran last time, Mechanics and
Yeah,
maybe
I
lead
say I've heard
mechanics.
something about a deep deposit only, supposedly, but I've not
Correct.
seen it.
Yeah. Let me.
Hey,
I
Codes,
kinda
is
like
this
it
like
without it.
the old
I
city
pers
from Frenzy? All the mechanics and stuff, what you're talking about?
What did you say, Jason?
Isn't this what the format and everything for the mechanics is the same as the old Frenzy, right?
Correct. I never touched anything. That's why, when we brought all this over, our focus was to make sure that the server was stable. We didn't put any effort into any of the mechanic stuff right now.
Okay,
Okay.
yeah, because I
Yeah.
can help
So that
them
is
out
true.
in city as
So
well.
I'm a lead mechanic. I have access to depositing money into the safe.
Okay, well, I
Okay.
gotta recheck my lead mechanics because they didn't last time I checked.
Where are you at? 6'8"?
Yep.
Hayes, you can
Mechanic,
deposit
Harmony.
as a
that
lead mechanic.
Harmony
is
mechanic.
Harmony mechanic, and I'll even do 0 for the basic job.
Just saying, Hayes, normal mechanics can also deposit money.
Yeah, so these guys should be able to deposit money as well. It
But
should
you
be
can't
back
take
here.
money out, right?
No,
Right,
no, I
Zuko?
can only I can only deposit. I can only deposit.
Yep,
Alright.
see,
Good to
just
know.
try lead, see if lead works.
No, that shouldn't matter because I made sure when you guys were able to deposit money. I don't know if
Are you on duty?
You're in the right spot.
oh, you know what? I am not on duty. Thank you for
Oh, yep.
that would probably do it.
Anyone at Hayes in this meeting should be on duty, by the way.
Nope, told you mine wasn't working.
Let me see the code real
So
quick.
how many general managers can you have? Is there a limit?
You can have as many as you want in each rank. We only have 3 ranks for each job right now.
Okay.
Right, and then like Pizzy said, when down the line in the future, they get a chance to set some more roles for us, then you can kind of move them appropriately, right? We'll get some staff in there to make sure that they're not, or actually possibly even them code them into place, right? I don't know, but either way, we'll get them lined out when that time comes.
Yeah, this is the
Okay.
location. So
Just a heads up, we do have a Discord coming for all the mechs. I'm just essentially getting some final
Just
touches
on
on
a
it
hook. I'm
and
cleaning this one up, and then I'll.
waiting on
Okay.
a final go ahead.
Okay.
I believe this section will still be in this Discord, but we'll also have individual little rooms for each mechanic shop, right? And a
That's good.
separate.
Because I still want to be able to reach out to you, Joe, and to you, Damien. Because, we're the mechanics now. We own the mech shops.
Yeah.
Well,
We should
as
probably
owners,
be friends.
right? As
oh,
owners, we're
whoops.
gonna have a place that we'll be able to talk and have meetings and stuff too, right? Like, I'm trying to set it all up to where it can essentially be self-sustaining for the mechs. Even though, like I said, we'll still have this to be able to talk in and whatnot if we want to. Um, but we'll also have our separate, spot that
Yeah, our
nobody can.
stuff.
All right, so there was actually a mishap. So Hayes actually was the only one with the deposit only. I think at the time, Jason, that we were testing that. I never released it to the other mechanic shops, but now all the mechanic shops will have it on next restart.
I was gonna say, I
Oh,
think
yeah.
it was only Hayes and Tuner that actually had the deposit
Yeah,
box.
so there it is.
There you
So
go.
you
Yeah,
can see it
cool.
on or off duty, doesn't matter. So you can just deposit money in there, and then the owner, the general manager, will be able to take the money out of that and then go deposit it in the bank. That's what that was for. Which for 6-8 is across the street.
Yep.
Ours is
All
right
right.
down the street, too.
And Hayes right down the street.
So other than
Get over
that
around the
part,
corner.
so other than the job grades, other than like adding more roles, other than
Any way to get some kind of impound or DV type action back for stubborn vehicles?
for vehicles that get stuck inside.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, vehicles that get stuck in general, without any kind of impound or hook truck, I can't get them to break loose, a lot of times.
But what? So how are they getting stuck?
I've had a case, something randomly, I don't know what button combination or what that I've hit on my controller before, that has popped me out of a car while I was in the Benny's menu that has stuck a couple. Other than that, I don't know
Also,
for sure. Somebody else got one stuck, but I'm not sure how.
yeah, so motorbike, someone got that in the Benny's menu accidentally got hit off the motorbike and they couldn't get.
Right.
Yeah, because it goes to, that's what happens when we get like punched or something when we're in a car, when we're in the menu.
The only reason why I can't give you guys impound, or I mean, I could probably give you guys, I could probably make that work within your mechanic shop area. So where you guys can do / impound.
I know the main reason is because the impound is the impound.
Well, the reason why we don't give mechanics that access and kind of full control over it, because whether you're on duty or off duty, you can literally go anywhere and just /DV a car or /impound a car, right? I mean, that's
Right.
very power gaming.
Right.
But in an aspect where something gets stuck here, especially on your lot where you're upgrading a car at Benny's, or somehow it gets stuck on
Could
the on the
you
inside.
maybe
Um,
set that to like owners?
well, what I can do with it is I can at least set it to again. I mean, once I rework the job grades and stuff, I can
Right.
probably have it set to where some job grades can have access to a DV command or whatever. Um, DV impound command at certain rank
Right. Just
and
something
higher, but
for
also have it only work,
emergency, so to
but
speak.
have it also work within your radius of your mechanic shop. So,
Right. That way, if it's stuck in your bay or in your shop or right there in
correct.
front,
You guys won't be able to
you
abuse it outside of that.
that's
That
fine
will
with me.
allow us to clear our car parks above Torpedo one.
All right. So other than having lead mechanic to hire and DV impound command for a certain rank and higher, what other questions do you guys have?
I know I had the concern of all mechanics being able to access every mechanic's stash. Like I could walk into tuners and access their stash.
Okay, so I'm a mechanic for Harmony. Let's go down to Hayes. I know where Hayes' stash is, and I'm on duty. I have no access to their stash.
I
So
think
you
she was
said,
talking about every role being able to access the stash, essentially kind of like I asked in the beginning about a boss stash, and you'll have to go through the
but
realtor.
but here's the thing: every job is separate. It's all determined for that role. So like tuner, like for the mechanics role, the tuner role here, only they have access to their own stash. I can't come over
Right.
here and have
Okay.
access.
Yeah, that was exactly my question. Yeah, because I had heard a rumor that other
That's
mechanics were coming into other shops and stealing their mats.
yeah.
So.
You can't do that. You cannot do that. Like I can't even go to their crafting bench. I
Yeah.
know their
I
crafting
haven't
bench
I
is right
haven't
here,
found anybody
and I
else's
can't
stuff
even
I
do
can
that.
use yet or
Yeah,
see.
you can't do that. That's what I'm here for. I'm here to tell you guys you can't do certain things like that. Like there are certain restrictions that I put in for mechanics so that you because each one is acts as a separate job, like as its own separate job, right? So it
Right.
doesn't have that capability to go and break into your stashes and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
H-
Imagine
hence-
imagine that though. Mechanic wars.
I had a question. I don't know if it's something that's feasible. It's not urgent. But you know how when somebody clocks on for the taxi job or the trucking, like the tow truck job, it'll come up in services because there's 4 separate mechanic shops now. You know, if I have a problem with my car, I then have to drive around to all 4 of the mechanic shops to find out if there's a mechanic shop, like somebody there, or I have to post on Twitter and wait and see if somebody responds. Is it possible
Right.
if somebody clocks in on duty, they can show up in that services tab, and then I can just call them and see like which shop they're at?
Well,
Either
I could
that or
actually
maybe
I can one up
indicate.
that. I can one up that. In their services app, I might be able to break it out so based on your job. So
Right.
or
So it would
Well, I mean,
show
right now you see
Toledo
little
open
icons
or
next to
Hayes
people's
open.
names, right? It's like
correct.
a tow truck icon, whatever. So you could have like a monkey
Here,
wrench
I'll show you
thing
what I did for
mechanic,
EMS
but
or for PD. PD has their emergency app, so they know. Like I could do something like this where I could show there's 4 different mechanic shops where these are the people that are on for those mechanic shops. And I could do something like that, or I could just list all the fucking mechanics in there, and you guys just deal with that. But here's the thing:
I
that
would
needs
be
to
Separating
be
it
fine
would
with
be
that
good.
I'd be
that
fine
needs to
with just like a scoreboard, just a light.
yeah,
I get enough.
just to
Yeah, just
say
to
like
light
who's
that the
there.
store is open.
Yeah, like that there's somebody on duty at that. It doesn't have to be like names. Like if it's you just have an icon for each of the 4 stores, and if it's like green, it means there's somebody on duty at that shop. It doesn't necessarily. I don't know if it's necessarily
that's fine.
everybody's names or not, but
I
yeah.
don't
Yeah,
know
yeah.
which is easier, but
I mean, yeah, that's easy. I could probably come up with a way to show that, like, from each mechanic shop, you know, there's somebody there. It'll pop up in services, like,
right,
you
have
know,
them listed
services
too.
available at Hayes Auto,
Yeah.
services available at Tuner, and so forth. Yeah, that shouldn't be too hard to figure out. Now, that are you guys all okay with that? Like all the owners in here, that are you guys okay with having your
Yep.
your name come up in the services app?
Yep.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I don't mind one bit, especially if it's a shop name.
Yeah.
I'd rather keep my phone number out of it, but if not, no biggie. Half the people's got my phone number now, anyways, because everybody's asking for it. So
Okay. Don't mind the butt plug in my inventory.
I bought one too. Don't feel bad. She was fussing, talking about she was gonna leave and see who she was gonna give her sponsorship to as far as mechanic shops, and she went to another shop and didn't sell any. So when she came back, I bought one. I said, "No,
Yeah, well, when she
Yeah,
trashed me on
you
Twitter,
can't,
I wasn't
you
very
can't
happy about it.
say you come to fucking
she went to me and asked if I wanted to buy one, and I said no, thank you. All right, I'm going to tell another shop. You got.
Well, you're not even an owner of the shop, so I don't know why she went to you.
Yeah, I don't know. I said no, thank you. Oh yeah, down bad. Whoa, whoa,
Is
whoa.
the ATM in my shop working currently?
Hey, yo.
All ATMs work.
Yeah.
All right.
yes.
How do you? I'm sorry, I'm dumb. How do you use them?
/ATM.
Do /ATM in the chat.
All right. Thank you.
No problem.
Ta-da. You can't
Hey, yo.
deposit at ATMs. You can only withdraw at ATMs. So I can withdraw from my business account or withdraw from my personal. You can't deposit at ATMs. So you have to go to an actual bank to do a deposit.
Hey, bad coach, I got a question.
What do you want, shitlord?
Shitlord.
Wow.
Absolute
X.
mad lad. So we got like this hoist vehicle in our mechanics shop, right? Does that actually work? Because
Yeah,
I can't seem to figure it out.
I'll teach you.
All right, thanks.
All right. Any questions in regards to anything that you guys might have questions about before I kind of show you guys the ropes from ground up? Anybody?
I'm
All
sure I'll remember in like 5 minutes.
Can you repeat that again?
Can we get
Anybody
rid
have
of the
any
spawns?
questions?
Can we get rid
Oh,
of
I got
the local spawns up at Cup?
I can. I have a script for it to write. Yeah, I can do that. Remove
The ones are
Polito
the ones around
peds
the
and vehicles, right? Peds and vehicles.
the peds are okay.
Okay.
It's just the vehicles. Like the
Yeah, I
ones are
can
in the
do that.
servo. It's just the trucks in the car park and that.
Yeah, that's fine. So it'll be done with a poly zone. Do you know what a poly zone is?
I've got an
You
idea.
know.
Yeah. There's a certain
So
area that.
it's correct. So it's pretty much a certain area once you're in it. So what I can do is I'll wrap this entire area. As soon as
So
you come
that's
in here, what it'll do is once it detects that you're in here, it'll remove all the the native stuff.
right. Like
So-
around the actual servos, not too bad. Houses and near the car.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, by the time also you can also just impound those cars with your rank or whatever. Too,
Yeah. That's another option. But I won't always be here.
Correct. Yeah. All right. So first and foremost, actually, well, might as well while we're up here. Fucking, we gotta break the car while we're up here. So I take it down. While we're waiting, because I'm gonna have to drive down to Hayes so I can repair my car when I get down there. You guys have any questions over anything?
I'm sorry.
But the 6-8 shop that's getting all.
Is it the what shop?
Is it 6-8 down in the dock?
No. Oh, well, say down the docks.
As of right now, we that's not something that was set yet. So as far as tuner tips go and nitrous goes, it hasn't been given to anybody yet.
Okay.
Are you gonna go with what how the old city was with, as far as that? Like
I don't know what it
what was
was. Oh,
playing?
you mean on Frenzy?
Yeah, I'm Frenzy. Sorry, the old Frenzy, like where we had that secret garage.
No, that secret garage isn't in, because that was specific to Frenzy. So
I
this is
got
something
you.
that we're gonna talk to the owners about. I don't know what's happening with all the racing parts, and I don't know what's happening like the racing, the harness, the nitrous, the tuner chip, the illegals that we have in the server as well. I don't know where that's going yet. That's something that the owners have yet to discuss.
Okay, I'll talk to them about that.
Yeah, because I really missed that for the racing scene.
It looks like the car has wings.
All right. So while we're driving down there, I'm trying to ruin the car so I could show you guys through the whole process, especially on how to repair and everything. So you guys are very well informed on how to do things. Are you guys familiar with the taco shop
Mhm.
in Southside? All right. Are you guys familiar with some of the items that you can eat that gives you certain perks?
I've been figuring them out slowly.
So certain items in the taco shop that are crafted um,
I've been
can make
actually telling people about it in city, like because I have the taco truck, so I've been kind of sharing information on the different ingredients, like the different things that they do.
correct. So different items in the server, like when you consume them, gives you certain abilities. So one might make you run a little faster for a short time. One might make your stamina extend a lot longer than it normally would.
Perception.
Um, one makes your perception or your progress bar. So you know that bar when you're doing a repair on an engine or whatever, there's that bar that comes up at the bottom, or when you're robbing houses, whatever it is that has that bar on the bottom where it's doing an action. So one of those actions actually you can speed that up. So it's very helpful from a mechanic side of things. If they have to repair the entire car to the tens, drinking or eating something that will speed up that progress bar makes your repair a lot faster. And it's just nicer when people know that kind of thing. They'll bring you a coffee or they'll bring you that item or whatever, and that speeds it up for you. It kind of helps the mechanics out, and we kind of create some of the RP there with that as well. As long as the civs know about it too, but I don't think many people know about it yet. So that's why I'm sharing it with you, so you guys will kind of
I've
let
been
people
sharing it
know
with
out
the
there.
shop
Yeah.
and trying to take care of the food truck so that they'll make food for him when he needs it.
Even though I keep repairing my car with slash fix, but I'm gonna give you guys a couple things here because I don't think RB you didn't go with them with what Benny's does, right?
Oh, no, not yet. I haven't
Okay.
actually. I mean, I think I've kinda said it to a couple here and there, but not officially, so to speak.
All
I
right.
didn't really have many people with me the other night either,
So
so
okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and just finish out this conversation so you guys understand what's happening. So I know I've seen a couple of you guys comment on the fact that the Benny's garage right behind PDM gets a lot of traffic. Yeah, they get a lot of traffic because of the upgrades or because they go and quick fix their car with the quick body and engine fix because that's all that Benny's fixes. So Benny's menu, this Benny's idea, only whenever you damage your vehicle, so your body, your engine, your tires, it doesn't really fucking matter. As long as if your car is damaged and you visit any of the Bennies in any of the spots in the server, you pay for this repair. Two things happen. One, this fixes your engine and fixes your body to 100%, which is fine. It's not the end of the world because advanced repair kits repair your engine 100%, not your body. Uh, Regular repair kits repair your engine to 30% or 40%. I forget what the percent I had. So pretty much it kind of gets it out of yellow. So if your car's in yellow or at red, you can use either repair kit and it'll get you out of that. But the regular repair kit only gets you to a certain percentage. Meanwhile, meaning that you have to go see a mechanic or go to a Benny's and get it fixed. So every time a player goes and visits Benny's for a fix, thinking that they can avoid the mechanic shop. Let me tell you real quick, they'll never avoid a
Then
mechanic
don't
shop.
sabotage.
Huh?
I said then don't
RB,
sabotage you down there at
R-
Benny's.
RB, I have no idea what you're saying, bro.
So they'll damn old sabotage you down there at Benny's.
So yeah,
Sorry, I forget people
Benny's
can't understand Joe.
Benny's is a quick fix for a reason. I mean, I don't know if you guys ever been to an IRL quick fix shop, but those guys definitely aren't the best people to repair your car. They'll repair it for X, Y, and Z, and you still have to go see a full-fledged mechanic to get your car repaired. So I'm gonna keep repairing my car, and there's something I'm gonna show you guys. So no matter how many times you go through this, every time you go through, it actually deteriorates your car even more. So those parts that you guys have to fix, the brakes, the fuel, the radiator, the transmission, yada yada yada. Those 8 parts, other than the body and an engine, those 8 parts go down every time somebody visits a mechanic shop. Every time somebody visits a Benny shop. Do I make sense? Am I clear on that? Everybody understand? That's one person
Yep,
out of
essentially
a
they
few of
make
you.
the
Yeah,
motor
Yeah,
and
that
body.
That makes
yeah, I've
sense.
been letting people know about the bennies every time
Right.
they repair it as well. That it depreciates the parts in it.
It does, because it's a cheap quick fix. That's literally all it is. It's a cheap fix. That means it's fucking generic
Fix one
fix.
thing, break
They're
another.
Yeah, exactly. So the rest of your parts are going to keep essentially falling off. It's going to keep going down. So now if I go up and take a look at the fucking status of my car, just kidding, I'm not even clocked in.
I guess we could always just tell customers that Benny's uses used parts instead of new parts.
Yeah, you guys can come up with whatever RP you want to come up with that. I would advise though from telling customers that, because then people are going to think that we're
That's gonna
just
help.
scamming them in the server. But like
Okay.
realistically, we just want to make sure that you guys are getting business and getting work. That's the ideal. That's the reason why this is built in this way, so that their cars constantly just keep breaking, so they have to come visit you. So people can't avoid the mechanic shop. That's the point. So you guys are making money no matter what. That was the goal. This is why the system is built this way. So you guys are familiar with the F1 menu with going to your job and being able to view the vehicle status. Does everyone understand that part with this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So something that we learned a while back, easiest thing to do instead of wasting materials on an engine and body repair, um, always take it to your Benny's repair first. Always repair it first so that your engine and body is 100% fixed, not just in your eyes, but in their eyes as well. So, secondly, when you're going to start working on the car, so whatever this is now,
Yeah, I don't know if I can work here, man.
would you like me to send a tank after you?
What happened?
Nothing. All right. So,
Oh shit, my
Billy, can you mute your mic at least at the Thank you. All right. So, we've got your brakes, your axle, your radiator, your clutch, your transmission, electronics, injector, fuel. So, other than the body and engine, because we've seen what those can do to a car, these other 8 items will actually do different functionality in your car once they degrade. To give you an example, once the electronics get down, I think below 6.0, there's a random chance of your lights start to flicker, your radio will kick on and start changing channels. Your radiator, I believe that will refuse your car from starting up from time to time. Your axle will force your car to start veering to the left or to the right more. Um, your brakes will start to not work as well. Your fuel will start leaking out more, and so forth. The transmission will start to rev in place essentially, so you won't be able to shift into gear. I think the same thing with your clutch as well. So each of these have some sort of dynamic functionality to it. So once it gets down to a certain level, again, the player will start to know, like, okay, I need to go see a mechanic. So they can come in and say, hey, for whatever reason my car doesn't, it starts to shut off from time to time, or hey, it looks like my car is mag dumping fuel, or is dumping fuel, a whole lot of fuel. So can you take a look at it? So that creates a lot of RP. So that kind of gives you guys a hint of like what's happening and so forth. So does everybody understand that part with the functionality of how things work?
Yeah. Is there a?
Yeah.
I think Joe was telling me there's another screen after you do that diagnostic that shows the menu right there. Is there's another screen that you could pull up after that shows you everything too? So when you're typing it in to repair it all, you can still see it.
Essentially your team muscle, right? Like he's got open right now, where he's got his command box open. That way that you can pull that back up, because when you first do it, it will disappear. So if you pull it back up with your T muscle, then it sits right there as you see on his screen, right? That's what essentially I was
Yeah,
talking.
that's
It's hard to explain in
okay.
city, but that's
When
what I
That's
was
when you're
talking.
gonna repair the part anyways, see how he's typing like /repair, and then it's about to put in the amount of parts that you're using to fix each thing. You'll see it before
I
you
was just wondering because
fix the
sometimes
part.
other things get in the way. If people are sharing phone numbers or something around me when I'm
Tell,
trying to do a
tell, them
repair,
to,
those kind of get in the way.
tell them to get away from you.
Right. Worst case
Well, you
Get
can
in the
scenario,
also
way.
use,
always redo
well,
the
when
status.
when you're in the T menu, like in your chat, you can actually use page up and page down to scroll through the chat.
Oh, okay, that's nice. Well, my laptop that I used has the page up, page down muscles do not function for some reason on that. I think I got to update the brains or the BIOS. I mean, but yeah, I have one of those Asus Rogue sticks, and then I can't get the page up, page down to work for nothing on that
I mean,
thing.
worst case scenario, you just redo the F1 command to see it again, and then
See?
just go with that.
So
Okay.
page
Oh,
up, page
nice.
down,
All right.
you can scroll through that. Everybody has the ability to also clear chat. That is a client side functionality, so that means you guys can run it anytime you want. You have too much shit in your chat, just clear chat, and then you have a fresh start with your vehicle status.
Awesome. All right. Cool.
So then when you start repairing a car, you're gonna do repair. You're gonna pick the part next. So it tells you right there at the bottom as a suggestion that it should be engine, body, electronics, transmission, injector, radiator, axle, brakes, clutch, or fuel. So we're gonna go ahead and do brakes. And so the part amount is crucial, right? So this is how many parts it needs to take to get it back up to 10.0. So my brakes are at 8.3 out of 10. I need 2 parts to get it back up to 10. So we're gonna do 2. You could do as many as you want. You could do more than that, but you're going to be wasting material at that point. It's not
Right.
going to make it better.
It's like you're gonna kind of waste, but you can.
So once this is done repairing, it'll close the hood, then it'll recheck it by plugging in the status again, and then it'll tell you like, hey, your brakes are 10 out of 10 now. So my axle will be next. We'll do axle, and that'll be 2. And then we can prep up the next one, which is radiator, and we get that ready, and so forth. So I don't have to go over this because I think you guys pretty much learned this part in City. Um, but the bar at the bottom that I was showing you where it says repairing, you guys can drink or eat something to speed that up a little bit. It's really nice. So another thing is too, with all the mechanic shops, you don't have to be in a certain bay area. I made it to where you could essentially repair the car within a 25-meter radius from the center point of where everything is located at. So for Hayes, for instance, I can actually repair the car on the outside. So you can have 3 on the inside, 3 on the outside, and all 6 cars can be repaired at once if you needed to. Tuner shop is pretty open and pretty big. You can ask RB about that. You can literally repair almost anywhere in there.
Yep.
6-8 mechanic, you can repair anywhere on the outside, pretty much anywhere on the outside as well as the inside.
Yeah,
And
I
then
haven't tested
Polito
on
is the same thing in Polito. So you guys can repair on the inside and the outside.
I
But
figured
then
I'd try.
you only have one Benny's Bay, right?
Every shop has a Benny's, and every shop
Yeah.
is discounted at 15%. So you guys at that point can do cheap upgrades for people, and charge them 10% or 8, whatever percentage you want to, whatever you guys have in mind. But you guys get 15% off to do with whatever. So no matter what, it's always cheaper to go see a mechanic for a color change or for a turbo upgrade, for an engine upgrade, yada yada yada.
Right. And also on the quick repairs, at least what I've told my mechanics, again, these are your shops, y'all's choices. I've essentially just told my mechanics to charge them to get their money back, right? Add $1 or $2 or whatever, unless it was really expensive. But you know, get your money back, make a couple dollars, and move on. That way, that they're not, you know, too overly charged for something that was just essentially body and motor, right?
And then you guys can change up the verbiage when people, instead of saying you want it up to the 10s or it's at a 9.3, you know, to make to peep the players, that doesn't mean anything to them. You can say, would you like this to maybe you can change it up and say, would you like this to showroom quality? So that would be considered your 10s, or maybe would you like this to,
Right.
you know, I don't know,
I usually tell people
junkyard
like,
quality. I mean, you can fucking do all to the 9s because not everybody maybe wants it up to the 10s, right? Maybe
right.
they don't want to spend the extra money for that. You know, just to
I
kind of give
usually
you guys an
essentially
example.
just tell them like, you know, hey, your brakes are essentially, you know, half wore out. Do you want to go ahead and replace them? You know, your pads are, you know, essentially about shot, stuff like that, right?
Yep. Anybody have any questions on the repairing aspect?
Nope.
Is everyone understanding with the repairing aspect here? Everyone good with it?
Yeah, that's
Yep.
actually I did not even know about the radius till you just showed that, so that's good to know.
Yeah. So like for this car, for instance, I
Your
can
shop
literally
won't matter much, but yeah.
I can pull this up right here, and I can
Because
literally.
you know, last night I was waiting for the bay to open up because I didn't know about the radius.
What's my
Oh,
screen flickering?
gotcha. Yeah, sorry about that one. I should have let you know on that one.
It's all good.
But I never caught you in city either, so
All right. So yeah, so that's that part. So every mechanic also has a stash. You guys are all aware of this. Everybody can put stuff in here. It's the weight of 2,500. You can also, you know, stack and move things around and do whatever you guys want to do in there. You guys only have access to that. At some point, though, I'm going to be giving PD access to it, so they can start raiding shops at some point. So whenever, if for instance, if they see a lot of criminal activity coming out of a shop, they have access to your stash. So.
Is there any way to make that a warrant system now that we have DOJ? They have to have a warrant and present
Well,
it to
yeah,
an owner?
yeah, of course. I mean, PD just can't come in and willy nilly be like, "Hey, I'm just gonna go check out your stash." You know what I mean? I mean, there's gonna be a DOJ system behind it. There's gonna be a warrant system behind it. Eventually,
Yeah.
that's what it's gonna come down the pipeline. Because also with today, I ended up working on the ability for PD to read your text messages on your phone. So all those people that are running around saying, "Yeah, dude, do you have any bags of coke?" Good
time
luck.
to delete them. You better
um,
delete your shit quick.
so the crafting bench. You guys all aware of how the crafting bench works? I'll
Yep.
go over just in case if people don't know how. So for each item, it represents what materials is needed to craft for a certain item. So for a regular lockpick, it's 10 steel, 10 plastic, 10 rubber. So obviously, if you want all 5 in here, you want to have all 5. You're going to try to drag it over. It's going to tell you, you know, well, it's not going to tell you anything. You just can't do it until I have 50 steel, 50 plastic, and 50 rubber. Same thing with the advanced lock picks and repair kits, so everything pretty much. The racing harness, I would be careful on. I would not sell that to anybody. Um, the racing scene, I know, is just getting started. I mean, have you guys already sold racing harnesses?
Nope, I haven't.
Okay, I would keep those just on hold for now until we get until I find out what the owners what they want to do with the racing scene. But everything else, I think the owners mentioned that you guys are good to sell everything else. So,
Yeah, yeah, we're
um,
finally good to start releasing that. Just remember, your shop owners and there's DOJ.
so with the racing harness, I'd hold me personally, just telling you guys from my perspective, I'd hold off on it until the racing scene gets a hold of the owners to see what they want to do with all the racing stuff.
Right. You
Um,
told me to leave it alone. I was going to pass the word on to every other owner to tell everybody to, you know, that has access to leave it be for now.
radio scanners don't work at this time. They used to work. The way they used to work is that if you had one in your pocket and a PD alert went off for like a house robbery or a shots fired call, this would notify you and say you were just, you know, you received an alert essentially. So you would pretty much just know that, what was going on, what happened or whatever. So you received an alert for that. Fake plates used to work. I took the functionality out because you couldn't revert back to your original plate. So that's why the functionality does not exist yet. But they will be coming in. That's still something that I'm still weary about. I don't know if I want that specifically for the racing scene. I feel like it's great for the mechanics to use them. For instance, if people are doing a really big job and they want to change out the plate to their personal vehicle, so their personal vehicle can't get backtracked to them, that would be ideal. So, other than that, though, everything else is pretty straightforward. Um, I mean, being that cleaning kits are fucking 5 plastic and 5 rubber, maybe consider using that as some sort of a promotional advantage. Come up and see the shop. We'll give you 5 free cleaning kits or whatever it is, maybe a lock pick or something you guys can do. I'm just trying to think of things that you guys can do because I know a lot of you guys are kind of newer to the system. So,
Well, now, question on that with what you just
damn,
said, right?
RB, I'm gonna fucking reach over through your microphone and slap you for interrupting me every fucking 5 seconds. You fucker. Stop. I'm just playing. What's up? What you
Okay.
got?
Nope, nope, nope. No question now. Fuck it.
No,
I'm
well,
gonna shut up.
hey, too late now, motherfucker. Too late now.
All right, I've got a question then.
What's up?
All right, there you go.
List of illegal items. Like, how do we know what is legal to
Thank you.
sell out of?
I think RB was
Yes,
about to say
according
something
to
on
the
that.
listed,
Yep.
according to the listed ones, pretty much everything in there that's involved, that's not mechanic wise, is illegal.
Lockpick,
Lock
bank
picks included.
lockpick, handcuffs, all that.
So you
But the
you can't
repair kits you can get,
don't
like the
don't
basic repair
advertise
kit.
you're gonna give them a lockpick. Give them a lockpick if you want to. Just advertise you're giving away free cleaning kits. Just don't give the lockpick to the wrong person.
Call them keys or advanced keys. If you're really trying to say
Right.
conspicuous, you can call them keys or advanced keys. Me personally, because I play mainly a cop, I am not going to take anybody's lockpicks away or handcuffs or anything like that. I mean, I'm not. I don't care for that shit. I'm not going to take your
There's a
materials
lot, though.
away or anything.
Yeah, say
I
Yeah,
unfortunately
know.
there's
there's
a
a lot
lot that will
that go the
charge
other way.
you with that too.
Yeah, and I know there is, right? But that's just they have a different cop mentality. I don't have that mentality. I don't really give two fucks about it. But I will say, if you guys are trying to stay conspicuous about the items that you sell, come up with different terminology, come up with different things on say to that. Like when you're
Keys,
advertising on
bracelets,
yellow
purses.
pages, when you're I'm at the server mute RB. When you come up with different different
I'm
advertisements
doing
and
it on
stuff,
purpose now.
you son of a bitch. Advertising on yellow pages, Twitter, all that, all that sort of thing. You come up with different ways of, of coming up with different terminology for the items you guys are selling. But repair kits and advanced repair kits, those are not illegal. That should not be on the illegal list. If it is, I'll have to double check and make sure those are removed because those are not illegal. Repair kits are not
No,
illegal.
no,
What
the
the fuck?
mechanic stuff is good. The
I can
cleaning kit,
I'd
is
also
good.
suggest if you're advertising for something, have an alternative legal item in case a PD officer or somebody that's looking to see if you are actually selling illegal stuff. So if you know the person that's asking for it is not trustworthy, you give them the other thing, right? Because if you're saying, hey, I'm selling toothpicks instead, saying for lock picks, and it's a PD officer going, oh yeah, I could totally use some toothpicks. Give me one, right? But if they're in plain clothes, you don't know that they're a cop, but or you suspect that they might be, and you don't trust them, you have something else to give them. Be like, yeah, that's what we're calling this, and you give them that. Because if it's a cop that's undercover or whatever, or just somebody who might go tattle, then you don't want them to, have that on you and know that that's what you're calling them.
So other than that, you guys have any questions in regards to anything at this point?
You
Anything
sure you
mechanic
want
related?
questions?
I'll take questions. This is what we're here for. I want to make sure you guys
Oh, so now you want
understand.
me to talk.
I'm always down to talk, but you keep interrupting me, you son of a bitch. But yeah, if you guys
Can we?
Love
Is
you,
it?
Dad.
Will they look at the future? Like, for me, the RP in the mechanic side was doing customization. Yes, we can still do that, but there is a large majority of people that are like 5% off whatever we charge that price. Way are they looking at maybe getting rid of the publics, or is it just set in stone that they're going to stay there? Or
as of right now, it's gonna stay there. If I can see if we could probably squeeze 25% down instead. Would that help you guys out?
Yeah, 15 just honestly like we'd have to do it at cost price for it to be inviting for people. That's my opinion.
Gotcha. Okay.
Right. If you could bump them up a little bit, it would be nice if you could
I
bump the benches up.
yeah, I could do 25%. I can run that through the owners, and I'm sure they'll be okay with it.
Like it's not going to be like a massive number of people. The people that are in the city, yes, we get a discount. We're not always upgrading our own.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you guys, I don't know how it was in Good Times like 2.0 or whatever. I don't understand the whole versioning of frameworks, but like, I don't get, I don't know how it was in the last recent framework. I don't know if it was expensive to upgrade your car or not. Um, but here it's only upgrades to level 3. And a lot of people are freaking out because back on Good Times framework, a lot of the upgrades were like 4s and 5s, right? We took that out. So technically it's still there, but you don't see it on the menu.
In
So
in
people are coming in.
in the last iteration of the city, it depended on your car. Like, so if
Correct.
you had a cheap car, the upgrades were not as expensive. But if you had a a baller car, you could end
So
up
that was
spending
was
like
the first framework. The second framework, everything was
Yeah, about 100 to 110 total if you did everything.
so the first framework was on what vehicle you had on the PDM price. Second framework, everything was all your basic customs were like $400, and then Benny's as a business, we put our own tax on top because we had the invoicing system that took 10% mechanic, and then Benny's had to make money on top extra. That's how we ran that. Probably another question actually is billing.
So it is right now. It is just cash sales. So I'm not going to beat around the bush. So yeah, this framework was used on Frenzy, right? I think a lot of people have realized that or finally found that out or whatever. Um, and the big reason why we brought this over to Good Times, it wasn't just for the head pops, but it was everything else that was exploitable, that everything else that wasn't working correctly on Good Times, that was just it was really buggy. And so we spent a year on this framework on Frenzy that 90% of it is bug free. There are some stipulations here and there that are, you might wake up in your fucking apartment like underground, or maybe something isn't sticking to your car, but like those are really small bugs compared to what was happening on Good Times from a bigger level. So that's why the owners made the executive decision on kind of switching everything over and using all these game mechanics versus what Good Times had. And a lot of people were like, well, why can't we just bring over what Good Times had and put it in here? I wish it was that simple, but it's not. um Eventually we're going to move some stuff over from Good Times over here to over here. So like that Pacific Bank robbery script, where it's got the laser beams and all the explosions and shit, that's going to be coming over. Like there are certain things that we're bringing over, but it's not everything, right? So one of the things I've heard from a lot of people is that they like the billing system or the invoice system. So I will be custom building out the invoice system. It will take some time, but it will be in. um I can't give anybody an ETA because I'm custom building it. It's not something I can just drag and drop and you guys have fun with it, right? We want some customizations with it. So like for instance, Frenzy was also one of the first servers on Qbus. Like the framework is called Qbus or QB Core. If you guys are familiar with it from like the deving side of things, but like a lot of servers are running the same framework, right? We hand built a lot of our stuff. We hand built a lot of things that made more sense to what roleplay should be about rather than it being a game mechanic that you go up and press E or go up and hit the third eye and so forth. We wanted more interactivity. We wanted more just more realism to it, right? So rather than just a plop an E and use it and wash your money this way, we're like we want different ways of doing things, right? So um that's why the invoice system wasn't built on Frenzy, because we really didn't care for it all. Everyone was okay with just using cash because almost every corner has an ATM. So, there's an ATM inside of Hayes, there's an ATM next to the tuner shop, there's a store next to the Polito shop where where mechanic shop was up there, and same thing with the mechanic shop in Harmony, there's a bank across the street. So like nobody ever really cared for the invoice system. So now I have no problem building that out. It is going to take some time because everything we like to try to put into the server, we like it to be custom, so that we know that it's optimized, it's written correctly, and so that we aren't completely just shit in the dark with certain items, right? So with the billing system or the invoice system, we'll make sure that is integrated in for a lot of people. And so when you guys send out an invoice, for instance, from a mechanic shop, it'll go straight to the deposit money safe here or straight to the business account. I can have it to go to either one. Most likely probably go to the business account in the banking system. That would probably be easiest. But in regards to everything else, any other questions? Have I answered all your guys' questions?
Will the billing split between the company and the employee, or will we have to pay the employee back out?
That's something I'll have to sit down with the owners and see what they want to do, because you do have the ability to pay them
Right,
from
through the
here,
phone.
which this sends them a check to Life Invader.
Gotcha.
I think the automatic, it just did make it self-tracking based.
And if that's what you guys want, I have no problem with that. I mean, that makes my job a thousand times easier, and I'm sure it makes your job a thousand times easier. Instead of me
Maybe
trying
an
to do
auto
math.
commission.
It makes ours easier. It sounds good to me.
Maybe an auto commission that just sends it to our checks, and then we just go pick it up like a
Correct.
normal check.
Yep, and that's exactly what I can do. So you're whenever you bill somebody for a repair of $2,200, I don't know what the commission split is, so I'm just going off 50-50 here. But
It was 10%. You had before mechanic.
What?
Well, it's
So
different now.
that was
now it's
different
like
now. That was through the
Oh,
Benny's.
that was back in Benny's. Okay,
yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Yeah,
Now
I was
it's,
gonna say
it's like
there should be at least a 50-50
40
here or
55,
60-40.
Yeah, I think it's like 60-40 is what it's still set to the same that you had the sheet when you gave me that copy.
Okay. Yeah, and mind you, we made a lot of money. But all right. So long story short, yeah, we can make that happen. So the 50, so it's a 50-50. So 50 of it will go to the business bank account, and the other 50 will go to your guys' payroll department over at Life Invader. Is that fair for the invoice system if I get that set up?
Yeah, that works for me.
And that commission will be hard set, right? So and it'll be hard set for each job. So if you guys wanted to change that, say one day the owners are like, man, fuck you guys, I'm taking more money for the business, and they want to do 80-20, they'll have to let me know so I can go in and update it in the script. It won't be somewhere that's like set for them elsewhere. Now eventually down the road, I mean, I don't know how far down the road, but down the road I would like some more customization ability from an owner standpoint for each shop that they run. So for instance, if owners want to go in, they can change the commission pricing, they can change X, Y, and Z, they can change all sorts of shit. I want to give people more of that ability. We just don't have that ability right now. We don't have the time for it because we have a lot of other things that are slated on our plate. So just be patient, and as far as getting the lead mechanic to hire, the impound DV command around certain ranks in your area, the scoreboard for each mechanic shop in the services, removing Polito peds and vehicles, and increasing the percentage off of Betty prices by 25%. Those are the things you just have to be patient with me on. I'll make sure we'll get those in over the next week or two. Out of curiosity, because this would make it a billion times easier. Those of you that want more roles for your jobs, can we all come to an agreement for like 2 extra roles, and you guys come up with names for them so every shop is the same?
Yeah, I'm
Yep.
good with that.
Yeah,
Yep.
2 extra rows. Essentially, we got what? Owner, mechanic, and mech.
I'll let
Can
the
we do
owners talk about it. You guys can talk about it in your owner
Yep.
chat, and you guys
Yeah,
can
yeah.
sort it out. If you guys can come up with 2 roles, which I have no problem coming up with 2 roles and adding 2 roles in, and if you guys come up with the way, like where they should be
like the
structured at,
layout?
then I have no problem updating it, and I can get started on that. So if you guys can get me 2 extra roles, I can get that developed over the next couple weeks, and we'll put it in the sprint, and we'll get working on it.
That'd be great.
In own
Is there we'll
Get
go with
together.
managers here in a minute.
Okay, cool. Yeah, well, thank you guys for coming to this little workshop for mechanic stuff. I'm glad you, at least some of you guys, learned a couple new things. Um, the big thing to take away from this is when you're repairing the car, make sure you take it the Benny's quick fix first, and then repair the car after, so that you're not wasting materials on engine and body. Whether they stick it in the garage or not afterwards, that will not affect it. The way the script works for the degradation is that whenever the player starts to drive, it'll start to kick in for the degradation. That's when the degradation starts to kick in. So as soon as they get back in the car and they start driving off, it starts already saving to the database. Does that make sense? Because I know a lot of people were getting confused as to like, oh well, you need to be in the car, or for it to save, it needs to be put in the garage. Maybe for the engine and body, but it does that doesn't make that has no effort on where my what words hello words
Degradation.
yes, that saves automatically. Like as soon as you get in, you're actually as soon as you're done with all the parts, it saves. It takes all the status of all the degradation and it saves it into the database. So you guys don't have to worry about that. All right. Well, I appreciate you guys meeting with me. Thank you. I'll try to write some of this into our GitHub and kind of get these
Brother
issues
Coles, I
issued
just
out.
wanted to interrupt you again.
You
I know you're
fucking,
gonna leave. It's my last chance.
I'm gonna fucking murder you. What do you need?
Joe's gonna get shot at the fucking shop randomly. Watch.
No, I'm gonna come and just
Shop's
fucking
gonna
admin
explode.
abuse.
Just admin abuse. Joe
Admin
be walking
abuse.
around, just fall out.
I'm just gonna freeze you and just fucking make you sit there.
Fuckers spawn me up in the air, drop me, revive me, pick me up, throw me across the world. I can sit now, be
Real
possessed.
quick, and I'd rather kind of show you guys this too, so you guys understand. So with wheels, and you guys probably noticed, we do have custom wheels in the server. There's kind of two sets of custom wheels. One is like the JDM pack, which you guys have probably seen these wheels before. Which is these are to me so this is the JDM pack of wheels. So then we have these lore friendly wheels. Now they show up in a couple different places, but they have different types of patterns to them. So the SUV ones, if you scroll down to the bottom, they're much wider. They're made for wide body cars. Lowrider, if you scroll down, these fit more into the Liberty Walk type excuse me, like the more flush type of cars, but you can still have a deep dish to them. You can tell some of these have deep dishes and whatnot, right? And then I think you have, yeah, the muscle ones are more like the ones that kind of just stick out barely, but they kind of sit on the outside a little bit. Not many of them you get deep dishes on. I want to say off road. No, there's no off road ones there. I think that's it. Yeah. So I just want to show you guys those ones because like the lowrider ones are usually nicer on some of these cars, especially if you want deep dish, but don't want them to stick out like a sore thumb.
If the colored headlights aren't sticking on the cars, is that something that there's a solution for? Because I think on one of my or had them before the big storm that changed everything, and I got them done again after that, and they're it's not sticking.
Yeah, so I'm gonna show you right now. That was something I noticed as well. Some cars stuck, some cars didn't. I was like, okay, what the fuck is happening? So this is a brand new car spawned in. I admin carded so I could stick it in my name, and yeah, as you can tell, I have aftermarket headlights on it. You know, the color headlights and the neons. So if I stick it in the garage, I have like 3 in here, I think. Oh no, I just have 1. Pull them out, light stick.
Right. They stuck for a couple days and then they just fell out.
Mine didn't come
So
over with the change.
some won't, some will because of how the core and the framework is built. I went, so I think I did it this morning, I want to say. So I went and copied over the way you guys saved your vehicles from Benny's,
Mhm.
and moved it over to the framework today. So it should be coming up in the next restart,
Okay.
where that
If
stuff should be fixed.
if like after the weekend where there are still cars coming in where people are like, hey, I bought colored headlights, it's not sticking, can we just like put in a ticket like, hey, you want to take a look at this?
Yeah, just put in a ticket if that still happens. It shouldn't be happening, and it's really hard to replicate it, right? Because I
Well, that's what
can't
I'm
be
saying,
sending.
like after the weekend, because you said it's gonna go through the
Yeah,
night, so give it a couple days, and then if it's still doing it, then just let you know, I guess,
yeah, that's fine.
in a ticket. Okay. Because like I didn't mind paying for it again after the changeover. It was fine, but I was like, if I have to pay for it every single time I come in, I'm gonna be pissed.
No, I get it. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, just put in a ticket for it. Other than that, you guys are good to go. Appreciate you guys coming. Thank you guys all for meeting. Yeah.
Thank you for the info.
I have
Appreciate
a
it.
quick non-mechanic question. If you have a 2
A,
seconds,
a what?
is the how sharing contacts before the changeover was like